messaging on this one long time ago.
They may have lost the war on messaging, Rika, but I still don't have a sense that they are willing to abandon the policy. It would be a death knell in their view to do so.
Well, I think that their carve out in all party as deeply weakening, see it that way, and they are still ideologically in on this policy. They want that is key to their legacy, key to their brand since 2015, and really something that demarcates what they do versus conservatives are offering. I do also think that there was, to play the contrarian, they kind of had a coup this week in calm, in the sense that what actually was underlying the announcement on Wednesday was that the carbon price is going up.
Right.
And because the carbon price is going up, the rebate's going up. So maybe from that sense, they won this week. Whether that means they're winning any battles in the long haul, I have no idea. But they seem to think that they do have a chance at shifting at least some of the negative sentiment towards it because of things like this.
And even losing the war on if the tax argument wins the day with Pierre Poilievre, that Canadians will lose also the rebate, because that's how they finance the rebate. So, and the Liberals cannot win even that argument. So that just shows that a long time ago they lost the teaching.
Central to them even making that pitch at this point, which is, hey, if you ask the tax, you'll also ask the rebate, is a degree of faith that there are many Canadians who believe that they could be better off with this tax. I don't know if that belief exists. There are NDP leaders lining up provincially out this window to oppose the idea of a consumer carbon tax at this point, right? And it's
conversation had announcement this week of rebates that are coming out, and it was noted, well, in Atlantic Canada, with the money from the price, because oil carve out, they are getting a smaller rebate because that works. For them, because, like you said, everybody and their mothers right now lining up to say, hey, this doesn't work, hey, we want to get out of this, and it seems like the Liberals are the only ones kind of waving the banner.
Last word to you, Reagan.
Look, I think that your interview with Shannon Regan earlier this week on Power Play really shows the holes, right? They haven't yet figured out how to get the money back to small businesses, how to get the money back to Indigenous communities. There's questions about things like the carve-out. So there's still a lot of policy questions around this that haven't been sorted out how many years in. But the Liberals believe that just as it's shifted away from them, the narrative has gone away from them, they believe it can come back. And they believe that things like the fact that Pierre Poilievre does not yet have a we'll find out in a year and a half when we go to the polls. But that is their hope.
It requires, well, first of all, a year and a half before we go to the polls, perhaps, but also a completely shifting economic landscape that allows people to care about things outside of just how unaffordable life is. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Sherelle Evelyn, JD Belval, and Rika Welsh. And just before we go, here are the things I'm going to be watching for this week. Inflation, as we were talking about with Mr. Manley, and Mr. Numbers come out Tuesday. Very curious to see if they remain as stubborn as they did last month. The 2024 South Carolina Republican presidential primary, is held all eyes on Nikki Haley. That's her home state. Of course, very curious to see if that benefits her at all. And then, of course, we're also paying attention to more fallout from Alexander Navalny's death as we near the 2-year mark of Ukraine. That certainly has changed the context around that conversation. That does do it for us, however, this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Vashi Capellas. I look forward to seeing you Tuesday on Power Play. Have a wonderful rest of your day and long weekend.
Andrew worked to the ground.
Currently, our authorities don't care.
With a Canadian mine in the crosshairs. We've put $10 billion into the investments in Panama.
We need to do something for the country. This isn't it.
And the people have had enough.
They don't want to listen to no more.
Here is Avery Haynes.
This is the Cobre mine in Panama, one of the largest open-pit copper mines in the world, and it's owned by a Canadian company. Welcome to W5. These giant boulders have been placed at the entrance to the mine to stop protesters from storming the facilities. And that's because what's been happening behind this gate has sparked an uprising right across Panama with allegations of corruption, environmental damage, and years of unkept promises.
People are feeling betrayed. We feel lost.
We're in war right now. At war. And the enemy is a Canadian mining company and the Panamanian government.
If we have to die this way, we will gas our country.
Mass protests have paralyzed the country, including here at Panama's largest university, where masked students with rocks and homemade shields have taken over their school. You can see the protesters are moving really close. They launch rocks at the police and are met with rubber bullets and tear gas in return.
This is obviously a symbol of the rage that this country is feeling because of mining. And it's the Canadian company that's responsible for this anger.
Watch out, guys.
We get caught between police and the protesters. And then a tear gas canister lands too close for comfort.
We have just come inside the university, which is sealed off from the police. But this tear gas is so intense. I can barely even get a deep breath in. My entire face feels like it has been burned from the tear gas.
The Canadian company that has triggered this uprising, First Quantum Minerals. A multi-billion-dollar extraction company that owns 13,000 hectares of jungle, an area twice the size of Manhattan. Plunked in the heart of Panama's most environmentally sensitive corridor, is 3,000-hectare open-pit copper mine, one of the largest in the world. October 2023, the Panamanian government quietly and quickly extends First Quantum's mining contract for another 20 years. And all hell breaks loose, bringing the mine and the country to its knees. For more than a month, vital arteries have been severed by blockades, grinding the economy to a halt, leaving store shelves empty and schools closed. The message on the streets from environmentalists, indigenous leaders, teachers, farmers, unions, and regular citizens: shut the mine down. Environmental activist Greta Thunberg calls attention to the crisis, posting that the mine endangers lives and threatens the survival of wildlife.
Panama, te quiero verde.
Actor Leonardo DiCaprio also takes to social media to denounce the mine. There are protests, too, at First Quantum's Canadian office in Toronto. After a night of skirmishes with police, the students who have been occupying their university allow us to enter a campus that feels more like a ghost town.
Students have been sleeping here, eating here for 33 days as of today, and they say they absolutely are not leaving, not giving up until the Canadian line, First Quantum, is shut down. But it's eerie walking through here. They're not wanting to show their faces because they know that if they step outside the gates, they will be arrested.
These are economics and accounting students.
We take our class virtual.
Virtual.
Yeah. It's like a double life.
Yeah.
We're fighting against the government and taking our class. Being responsible.
One of the things they boast about is that the mine has given a lot of value to Panama, that it's given fruits to Panama. But that is a lie.
Porque a pesar de que la mina.
We in war right now. We definitely in war.
This student calls himself the Panamanian Pennywise.
Why are the students so angry about this Canadian mine?
The government just want to be rich and forget about us. They never they consult with nobody.
He says the anger is over allegations that the Canadian company was granted a new contract as part of a hushed backroom deal with the government. And the belief that Panama is letting a foreign company take its resources for little in return.
Doesn't the mine provide jobs, boost the economy in Panama?
They don't provide nothing. Nothing. We don't get nothing. We see that there's nothing wrong against the Canadian. What affecting us is that we are Panamanian. We see that there's a lot of abuse in the country.
3 weeks into the widespread protest, police warn they'll begin using force to put an end to the largest social unrest in a generation. Bringing out tools like the so-called venom, which rapid fires tear gas into crowds. The ramped-up pressure has left some protesters battered and bruised by rubber bullets, and left others, like Aubrey Baxter, permanently disabled.
I just started to hear the bangs and booms. We couldn't even breathe well.
Baxter is a photographer covering this. Protests at the national legislature. He backs away when the crowd tries to tear down the barricades. He keeps his cell phone recording and captures a police officer who appears to be targeting him.
I felt somebody coming from the side, and I just saw the weapon straight to my face.
Watch the video as the officer aims and fires again and again. He tried to get behind a pole.
I tried to use a pole like a barricade.
You can hear the pop, pop, pop as the officer takes more than a dozen shots.
He's hitting there. Everything that is hitting on the pole, it was towards me.
And that's where you got hit. That's the moment you got hit.
We're tired of that.
Back at the university, students get ready for another night with an ominous warning.
There's already blood that has been spilled. If that mine remains here, there will be more death.
Is violence the answer to this?
Panama is a country that, so we're ready to die, but we're ready to die for our country.
When we come back, enough is enough. Cutting a swath of destruction across the land.
We cannot believe that a Canadian company would move into our national resources.
When W5 continues.
For every home, for every room, Cohen's has exactly the look you want, in stock and ready. New styles, new arrivals. See more of what's in store at Cohen's in our new bi-weekly flyers. Cohen's, where the home is.
You know us. We're a part of the community. We've been standing for you for years. We stand for knowledge, integrity, experience, and justice. We are committed to work for you. Call Rogers Most. We stand for you.
How white do you think your teeth really are? Let's try the tissue test.
Yellow. There's Tuesday White, and there's Crest 3D White Strip White. They whiten like a $300 professional treatment. And to maintain your brightest smile, try Crest 3D White toothpaste.
Kinder Bueno. It's crispy. It's creamy. It's not your average chocolate. Smooth milk chocolate, crispy wafer, creamy hazelnut filling. It's Kinder Bueno.
Tech is making waves in Newfoundland and Labrador.
With cutting-edge innovations that are making a difference around the world.
We're changing the face of healthcare.
We're helping young minds with new ways of learning.
We're tackling climate change, turning science fiction into reality.
With the support and collaboration from a tech community that's second to none.
Tech is making waves in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Want the power of 5 serum benefits in one? New Olay Super Serum activates on skin for visible results that beat the #1 luxury serum. A super glow for your best skin yet. Olay. Did you know some of your detergent's fragrance disappears in the dryer? Downy In-Wash Scent Boosters survive the washer and dryer for freshness that lasts 6 times longer than detergent alone. Release freshness with every touch with Downy In-Wash Scent Boosters. So breathe.
Your bathroom needs Febreze small spaces. The always-on odor-fighting air freshener you set and forget. No outlets used, no batteries needed, no effort required. So your bathroom stays continuously fresh for 45 days. That's the power of Febreze small spaces.
Leftover chicken, scallions, cheese. What am I gonna make with this? Mayo. Almonds. You can talk. A chicken salad sandwich. God, I love you.
I've really come to feel at home here on the East Coast. Outside of my legal practice at McGilvery Law, I enjoy a number of activities. One of them is dance. It's a pursuit that makes me appreciate the ability to move freely. As an injury lawyer, I often represent people who've lost some mobility, whether through a car accident or some other type of injury. That is why it is so important that they receive the insurance benefits they deserve. Treatment can often mean gaining back mobility. At McGilvery Law, we put our clients' well-being first.
McCain, make it a Friday.
This is First Quantum Minerals in the heart of Panama's jungle, abutting the Caribbean Sea. This one Canadian mine produces a staggering 1.5% of the world's copper, and it's now the most hated company in Panama. Protests have paralyzed the country, and here in front of the mine, a blockade. Nothing is allowed in or out. This mine worker was bound and detained by protesters. He's accused of trying to barrel through the blockade in this company van, which was later destroyed by protesters. The man was handed over to police. First Quantum has been mining this land since 2019, despite the fact that the Supreme Court ruled 2 years earlier that their contract was unconstitutional because there was no bidding process.
It's devastating to know that we live in a country where